Beneath the romantic streets of Paris lies another city, a maze of darkness stretching for 170 miles, holding the remains of 6 million souls. This is the story of the Paris Catacombs, where death and art intertwine in the city of light's shadows. Paris, 1780. The City of Light faced a dark problem. Its cemeteries, particularly the infamous Saints' Innocents, were literally overflowing. Centuries of burials had raised the ground level by 20 feet. The decomposing remains were leaching into nearby cellars, contaminating water supplies, and spreading disease through the crowded city streets. The situation at Saints' Innocents had become particularly dire. A spring rain in 1780 caused a basement wall bordering the cemetery to collapse, sending a cascade of corpses into the neighboring property. The stench of death permeated the district, and public health concerns reached a critical point. The city needed a solution, and it needed one quickly. Guess what they did? The answer lay beneath the city itself. Since Roman times, Paris had been built using limestone extracted from vast underground quarries. These abandoned mines formed a complex network beneath the streets, perfect for solving the city's burial crisis. But the solution wasn't as simple as moving bodies underground. The quarries themselves posed a serious threat to the city above. Years of haphazard excavation had left the underground labyrinth dangerously unstable. In 1774, entire streets had begun sinking into the void below. King Louis XVI was forced to create a new department, the Inspection Générale des Carrières, IGC, specifically to map and reinforce these ancient tunnels. The man chosen to lead this monumental task was Charles-Axel Guillemot, a skilled architect and engineer. Under his direction, workers began the painstaking process of mapping the tunnels. They discovered that much of Paris was essentially built atop a Swiss cheese of medieval mining tunnels, some dating back to the 13th century. The reinforcement work was as artistic as it was functional. Workers created beautiful barrel-vaulted ceilings and supporting columns that still stand today. They carved out new corridors, built stairways, and installed ventilation shafts. Each gallery was marked with plaques indicating the street above, creating an underground mirror of the city. If you like it this far, please subscribe and click the notification bell to support us. In 1786, the transformation into a necropolis began. The process of moving millions of remains from Paris's cemeteries was a massive undertaking that would continue for decades. It began with the oldest cemetery, Saints' Innocents. Every night, under the cover of darkness, black-draped wagons carried bones through the quiet streets of Paris. The workers didn't simply dump the bones into these newly reinforced tunnels. Instead, they created something extraordinary which still stands. The French Revolution brought dramatic changes to the catacombs. As churches were destroyed and their cemeteries deconsecrated, more remains were transferred below ground. The victims of the guillotine, including Robespierre and his followers, joined the ancient dead in these dark galleries. During this period, the catacombs also became a refuge for those fleeing the terror above. The underground network proved useful beyond its intended purpose. Wine merchants used certain sections as cellars, taking advantage of the constant temperature. Mushroom farmers established extensive operations in some galleries, creating a thriving underground agricultural industry that continued well into the 20th century. During World War II, both the French resistance and Nazi forces utilized the tunnels. The resistance fighters, who knew the layout better, established secret command posts and ammunition stores. They could move throughout Paris undetected, emerging to strike at occupation forces before vanishing back into the darkness. Notable incidents have occurred throughout the catacombs' history. In 1793, Philibert Aspère disappeared while searching for a particular cellar of chartreuse liquor. His body was found 11 years later, identifiable only by the cellar keys still hanging from his belt. In 2017, two teenagers spent 3 days lost in the tunnels before being rescued by search dogs. Yet despite these hazards, the allure of the underground city proves irresistible to many. Modern technology has revealed new aspects of the catacombs. Ground-penetrating radar has identified previously unknown chambers. Laser scanning has created detailed three-dimensional maps of the network. Yet much remains unexplored. Engineers estimate that only about 30% of the tunnel system has been thoroughly documented. The official entrance to the catacombs receives over 500,000 visitors annually. They descend 130 steps into darkness to walk through a carefully curated section of this underground empire. But this tourist route represents less than 1% of the total network. The rest remains officially off-limits, its secrets known only to the cataphiles and the dead. What lies in those unexplored tunnels? Some speculate about lost treasures hidden during the revolution. Others suggest forgotten chambers containing important historical documents or artifacts. The tunnels have already yielded surprising discoveries, from prehistoric fossils to medieval coins to revolutionary-era weapons caches. Today's Paris exists in layers, the modern city above built upon centuries of history below. The catacombs represent more than just a solution to an 18th century burial crisis, but they're also a testament to human creativity, resilience, and our endless fascination with what lies beneath the surface of our everyday world.